Hi, friends. I just figured I would jump in super quick just to go through today's math slides with you. So, today we are on lesson 20, day 3. Sorry if you can hear my dog snoring. She's under my feet as I'm recording this. So, today our goal is to be able to describe parts of a whole with fractions. So, understanding how parts of a whole add together from a fraction to make a whole number. This computer's painfully slow today. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yesterday we learned about a unit fraction. So if you remember, a unit fraction is any fraction that has a 1 in the numerator. So for this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes in our shape, and we have 1 shaded in. So our unit fraction would be 1 shaded, that's our numerator, and then 4 total parts, so 1/4. And we know it's a unit fraction because our 1 is in the numerator. Now for part B, it says to shade 2 parts of this model. In what fraction of the square did you shade? So if you shade in the one we had from part A and a second one, we have 2 out of the 4 shaded, so our fraction would become 2/4. Now same thing here. What unit fraction is shown? Here we have a circle with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, and they're all equal sizes, so we know we can make a fraction out of it. So we have to make a unit fraction for this one piece out of the 8 total. So again, unit fraction, we have to have a 1 in the numerator. We know that from yesterday. So we're going to have 1/8 total pieces, or 1/8. And then for part B, you're just shading 6 parts of the model, giving us the fraction that matches with that model. And as always, if you need to pause before I hit enter to do the work on your own, that is more than okay as well. That means you're getting good practice in. So now for number 3, super duper easy. We have 2 shapes divided up into equal parts, and you need to write a fraction of the figure that is shaded. So for part A, you're counting up the triangles that are inside the bigger triangle, and you're counting how many are shaded and how many there are total. And same thing with part B, just now we have equal rectangles inside a larger rectangle. So you're going to count the number shaded, that's your numerator, and then the total number of all the smaller rectangles is our denominator. Now again, if you want to take some time to figure these out, you can pause right now, and then when I press enter, you will see the answers. So as you can see, part A is 4 out of the 6 are shaded, so we have a fraction of 4/6. And part B, we have 5/8 because 5 out of the 8 smaller rectangles are shaded in. Now, this model below shows 1/3 of a square. We need to draw to show the whole square, then shade in 2/3. So this one rectangle is 1/3. Now, for it to be a whole, we need 3 of these because our denominator is 3. And to have a whole number, our numerator and denominator have to be the same. So right now, this is 1/3. So then we would draw another rectangle to make 2/3 and another rectangle to make 3/3. And then we need to go back after drawing our picture and shade in 2 out of the 3 rectangles, or 2/3 of our model. So as always, if you need to pause, you can now, and then we're going to see the answer. So here is our original 1/3 square, or in this case, it's really a rectangle, and it's right here. But then we need to make it a whole model. So we need to have 3 pieces because our denominator is 3. So once we have our 1, 2, 3 pieces, we then have to go back and shade in 2/3 of our model, or in this case, 2 rectangles, because that is the second step. This is a 2-step problem. First, we had to draw the entire model. We were only given a piece of it. And then we have to go in and shade 2/3 of it. So this is how you would show 2/3. And you could also flip it so the rectangles go up and down as well. Either is the correct answer, and either works. Same idea for number 5. This is showing 1/4 of a rectangle. So that means there's going to be 4 total pieces because our denominator is 4. So that means that this is going to have 3 more rectangles attached to it, or squares attached to it, to make that whole model of a rectangle. And then once again, we have to go back and shade to show a fraction out of those 4 equal pieces. So if we look, this is possible student work. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces now because we knew that this one was 1/4 of the entire model and it would match with this. And then we have to go and make 3 more because we know if the denominator is 4, that's how many total pieces there are to start with. And then just like the last one, we have to shade 2/4 now. So we have to make sure we shade in 2 of the boxes to show that 2 out of the 4 are either taken, being used, or accounted for, anything like that. So how can you use a shaded model to name a fraction? It's what we've been doing since yesterday. You have to count the total number of pieces in the model, not paying attention to what's shaded or what's not shaded. You need to count every single piece that's equal size in our model. That's how you get your denominator. And remember, denominator means down at the bottom. So denominator down, the bottom number of our fraction is the total number of pieces in our model. Now, the numerator is the shaded part of our model, meaning whatever is shaded or taken out, that is what our numerator is because that is the shaded part of our model. So a possible answer is I can count the total number of equal parts and then the number of equal parts that are shaded to name a fraction. A shape with 3 equal parts and 1 shaded is 1/3. So basically that's what I was saying and how we worked through problems 4 and 5. Now, look at this rectangle. What unit fraction is each part? Now remember what a unit fraction is. A 1 needs to be in our numerator. So in this case, what would our unit fraction be? If you need to pause or draw the model on a piece of paper, you're more than welcome to. So what unit fraction is each part? So if we look at this rectangle, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total pieces. There's 8 equal squares in this rectangle. But the question is asking for a unit fraction, and we know that a unit fraction means we have a 1 in the numerator showing how much is worth 1 cube or 1 box, whatever we're working with. So in this case, we have boxes or squares, and we know that there is 8 total. And we know, because we're smart 3rd graders, that the total number of parts is our denominator. So the bottom number of your fraction would be 8. And we also know that a unit fraction has to have a 1 in the numerator. So that means we're just talking about this 1 square here, okay? So that means it is 1/8. And then part B is just asking to shade in 4/8 and then to write the fraction there. So I hope that this was able to clarify anything. I hope it makes it easier to have me walking through it with you. Like I said, if you want to go and pause as we're walking through it, of course, more than welcome if you'd rather do it this way than the other way. So I think that's it for today's video on fractions. I hope it's becoming easier now that we're talking through some of the problems together. We will be having our first fraction quiz on Friday, so we have a review day tomorrow, and then we will have our quiz on Friday. So again, if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I'll be happy to help in any way that I can. And I hope you all are able to fill out the independent practice for today. It's very similar to the practice problems in these slides, so I think you'll all be able to handle it very well. And as always, if you need to do it on a separate sheet of paper, you can always send me a picture on Seesaw, Google Hangout, anything that's easier for you. I don't want to make more stress for you. I want to make it as easy and painless as possible. So whatever works best for you works best for me. So I hope you had fun with your fractions today. And I hope you are able to complete the independent practice. Make sure to turn it in when you're done for a grade. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.